Okay guys, so you love your Ford, not half as much as I love mine. Let me tell you the story of this little vessel. Every year she comes in this garage. You can see it's 20 foot by 20 foot square, lacking in height, but she goes up high enough for me to get her on trestles when she's moved forward a bit, because it's higher this end than that end. And every year she comes in here. Normally she comes in here and she gets stripped down up on the trestles, checked all the undersill gets redone, all checked right the way through, everything gets checked, and then she goes in for MOT, and then everything gets done, what gets advised or passed. This year I done the MOT first, and she passed first gap, but she still comes in the garage, and I had a few advisories. Anti-roll bar link arm was slightly playing it. It was not done up when I put the new strut on a few years ago. I couldn't have done it up, so I changed it. I fitted a new one. Steering rack, two ends on the steering rack were slightly loose, but not enough to warrant changing this year. I bought them. I've got them there in the box, all ready to go on with the other anti-roll bar track end. So anyway, I brought the van in as always. I stripped her right down. I've gone right through her. As I say, I've done all of the repairs that it said for the MOT. Let me see if I can get a light. She's a lovely old van. I rebuilt her. If you go on my channel, you'll see me rebuilding her. When I bought her for scrap, but because she only had 23,000 miles on the clock, I'm afraid, I had to do it up. Right, I'm getting a bit tangled up here, guys. So I've got cables everywhere, and nails and hooks and things are hanging on hooks, and now I've got it back round my neck. Okay. So anyway, this year I got a cracked windscreen. It passed the MOT, and it's not getting done this year because after all the expense this year, I can't afford to do it. But I had a leak. Yeah, I had the as it turned out, the Ford mysterious leak. Nobody knows what it is. What I do, guys, keep listening, because I can cure your problem. I've read every video, I've watched every channel, and nobody will tell you the cure that I'm going to tell you what it was. Anyway, as I say, my windscreen's cracked. You see the crack going across that peg, but it's not favourable. Because I thought it was leaking, that's why the leak was in there. I shut this top corner, I shut the rubbers all the way down, and it was still leaking. I stripped the panels out from under the front wheels. There are the spats, I've still got them off now, there they are. There's the spat there, got to go back on tomorrow, now I've cured it. And I could not find the leak. So in the end, I started in here, and I just kept, with a squeezy bottle, filling the bottom of that up with water. No leak. So then I come up the side here, and I squirted it all over this bracket bar. No leak. Then I squirted it down the side of the, but it goes down the side of the A post. No leak. But, oh sorry, before I done that, I started at the bottom, squirting at the A-frame. And I did find out the leak was coming in. Let me see if I can show you it, because you'll need to know. Go in here by your accelerator pedal. Where the accelerator pedal is, you'll see there's like a gusset goes along here, and you can see where the water been coming in there, and then coming down onto the floor, coming out here, there and down. So that's where I found the water was getting in. Now I had to find out how it was getting into that gusset. It wasn't getting in at that end, because if it was getting in at that end, just there's a vent hole, and it would have been running out there, and it wasn't. So it had to be getting in at this 4 inches, and I worked it out from the bottom of the door. It was 5 inches up from the bottom of the door to the bottom of that gusset, to 11.5 inches to the top of that gusset. So that water had to be getting in there somewhere, or so you'd think. Take it from me, it wasn't. You ain't gonna believe where it was getting in. Anyway, I as I say, I started in here, spraying water low down, no leak. Come up, checked all this, no leak. Checked all this, no leak. Sprayed it all over that, no leak. Sprayed it over this, no leak. Come up here and sprayed it all here, no leak. Come up the top and sprayed it, no leak. Then I sprayed it over this union here, where the rubber meets, no leak. Then I sprayed it all down the side of here, no leak. So okay, you're thinking now, okay, if there's no leak, you've covered every bit. of the motor. I just wish I'd have filmed this, guys, when I had it all stripped down. You know your vent plate that runs across the front here? When you take it off, you undo these little gussets, clip them off, take them and lift, and there's little square holes that they go in. What was happening, the only bit of this has got a seal all the way through the middle, but the only bit that ain't sealed is there to the end. The water was going in there, onto the red plate underneath there, going down into the square hole, and running off of here. And then instead of running out and dropping down into the bottom, it was somehow going along the surface and in. And that's all it was, folks. So what I've done, I put that in. I don't know if you can see it. I made a, let me get the light again. It is awkward, I hope you don't mind. The video's going to be a bit long, but if you want to kill your car, you'll watch this video to the end. So what I've done, I can't get in there because you might just see it there. When you take, hang on, I'm turning the camera off, guys. When you take this off, you've got a little red lip goes all the way around. I put a piece of heavy duty silver foil and I epoxied it in, and then I put sealant in it. So now any water that gets in there must strip off down there, and I know all that down there is watertight. Okay, so now the secondary. Just one thing before I go, guys. Looking down in here, it looks awful, doesn't it? But all this is wax oil. Just plastered with wax oil. Should never rust under there. That's why I couldn't believe the leak was in there, right? But as I said, I've done it. No leaks on this baby no more. And I'll get a new screen next year. I got 3 other vans and all fucking 3 of them got cracked windscreens. That's what you get when you have neighbours like we fucking got here. Never mind. What I've done, I put the shield back on, and what I've done, I've sealed it all the way along. So now the water can't get in there. The only place the water can get in is these vents immediately next to the head. So as I said, there's a square hole under there, and the water can still go through the red. And to make sure it don't, I've sealed them in. When that gets a bit dirty, it'll match up. Same on that one. Filled in. Filled in. And now the whole thing is totally waterproof. All this in here, if you've ever worried about how the water goes in here, stop worrying, because this was so well designed. All the fittings on your motors, there's no fittings underneath. They're all on raised welded brackets, all put in from the manufacturers. There's no screw holes, no bolt, nothing. That is your leak, boys. You can hunt anywhere you like, but the water's going down through that square hole, running along the top here, under there, up into under there, and that's your leak. Stop it. Hope this helps you guys, but there you go. If you do have a look at your car and you find out that's what it is, do both sides, and put a like on and subscribe if this video helps you. All I got to do tomorrow now is put the bonnet back on, the wheel spats back on, and she's ready for the road. As I say, I've been here so busy this year. I painted that floor, cleaned it, dried it, painted it, cleaned it, dried it, painted it. I couldn't stop the leak, and I ran out of red paint, so this year I painted it in white. But as I say, there's no leak now. So, end of story. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you love your Ford, good luck, kids, because I don't know if I'll let me show you in the back of mine before I finish. It's not your everyday Ford. It is your everyday Ford, but it's had a little few alterations, my little thing. It's been turned into a little camper. If you go on my site, somewhere on my site, you'll see me building this van. I totally rebuilt the body, wax oiled it all 7-8 years ago, and she's still got no rust come through now 8 years later. It was worth all the work I've done. Check the videos out, guys, and like and subscribe. peek the rest out for now. Thanks for watching. Cheers guys.